Let's just also address what is the still breaking news out of Iran and the fact that there is belligerence coming out of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and the Iranian regime. And this administration has a real delicate balance here, which is, are you going to engage and how do you do it now?
And how fascinating, we heard the vice president. I mean, they've been looking at the numbers. Did you hear the old Irish Paul looking at it saying, you know, 70% of the votes came from urban areas. That's not Ahmadinejad's strong suit. They know these numbers don't add up. I mean, that's I think that's the strongest message this morning. Joe Biden suggested this morning the numbers just don't add up in Iran.
Right, that Iran is not an actual democracy here.
Well, and I hope that's not news to them. I mean, he kept referring to the supreme leader, the grand Ayatollah, who really pulls the strings there. And now the Iranian democracy, the legitimacy, is out the window in the eyes of the world. So these are bad guys of no good faith. How do you engage with them if obviously they don't mean much?
And one of the things that they would say, what the president has been saying is, look, the nicer we are, the more we promise engagement, the more isolated they become. They have suffered some setbacks along the way. The more belligerent Ahmadinejad is a sign of more isolation. And if they're more isolated, maybe they're easy to deal with because they don't have friends in China or they don't have friends in Russia necessarily.
Well, but good faith is always a part of negotiations, and these guys are the anti-good faith. I think there has to be some condemnation now because we are on the side of the Iranian people who are trying to move forward. We can't be on the side of this regime.
And how fascinating as I sat there listening to him talk about this, looking at the election results. You know, the law of unintended consequences came in again. I suspect that Cairo speech really scared the grand Ayatollahs in Iran. If they were going to fix an election, this was the time to fix it because the last thing they wanted to do was Barack Obama take credit for reformers winning in Iran like they already have in Lebanon. And by the way, in the short term, that's bad news for us. I think in the long term, though, if the Ayatollahs are seen stealing an election as a result from what Barack Obama did in Cairo, I actually think that's a positive for the United States and Iran in the long run.